On this edition of Memphis Energized, preserving a part of Memphis's civil rights legacy, providing clarity on recent headlines about our area's drinking water, and how MLGW and TVA are working together to make some deserving residents' homes more comfortable. We'll talk about those stories and much more on this edition of Memphis Energized. Hello everyone and welcome to Memphis Energized, a half-hour television program that features important news from Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I'm your host, Michelle McKissick. Our first story takes us to a home in North Memphis that became the center of the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Here's Memphis Energized correspondent Leila Garlington to tell us more.
In the late 1960s, the intersection of Dunkley and Medgar became an epicenter for a historic labor strike that had ripple effects here in Memphis and beyond. Just a stone's throw away from MLGW's North Service Center off Jackson Avenue sits the home of former sanitation worker and civil rights pioneer Joe C. Warren. During the 1968 sanitation strike, Mr. Warren was a founder and key strategist for Local 1733 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees Union. Mr. Warren passed away in 2012, and his home was recently acquired as a part of the utilities expansion of the North Service Center.
Many meetings were held here as Mr. Warren and other sanitation workers discussed action plans to address the grievances after 33 workers were unjustly fired by the city sanitation department in 1965. As many of you know, when the men decided to strike, the slogan for the historic 1968 march was "I am a man." Mr. Warren coined that phrase, which became a motto for the strike and for civil rights activists around the nation.
At a press event, MLGW announced its intentions to preserve the home.
When MLGW began expanding our North Service Center, I was not aware that this was his home. I became aware that this was his home on Tuesday afternoon, August the 1st. And as soon as they told me, I said, well, we cannot tear that house down. That house must continue to stand. Mr. Warren's story and the story of the brave sanitation workers who stood with him in pursuit of fair treatment and justice is a story that must be told over and over again.
The first female union director of Local 1733 was on hand to give her thoughts on the preservation.
We never called Joe by Joe. We would always use Cephas because we felt that was more descriptive of him, and we had fun saying that. But he would be very, very proud to be here today to acknowledge the fact that the 1733 started here. He always told me that there were 17 guys that would meet here, but he and Mr. T.O. Jones, who was the first president of the union, and they were out on strike for the 33 days. So there comes the phrase of Local 1733.
5 of the original 1968 sanitation workers were also in attendance at the event. They were recognized for their bravery and tenacity during their fight for fair treatment. MLGW is partnering with the Civil Rights Museum to sustain the home and Mr. Warren's legacy for future generations. For Memphis Energized, I'm Leila Garlington.
Thank you, Leila. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Mr. Alonzo Weber. He is MLGW's Vice President of Engineering and Operations. Thank you, Alonzo, for joining us.
Thank you, Michelle.
Well, first, my question is, I want to dispel a rumor that apparently is kind of flowing out there right now. Some people believe our drinking water comes from the Mississippi River.
Well, that's amazing because really our water comes from artesian wells. It's a wonderful source. It's a very pure source. It's some of the best tasting water in the world.
And how do you know that Memphis water is so safe? I mean, I taste it. I know it tastes really good, but how do we know that it truly is safe?
Well, our water actually fell as raindrops thousands of years ago. And it went through a filtration process, nature's own filtration process, through sand and clay, and now is in an aquifer that's 300 to 500 feet below the city. And it extends out. It's a beautiful ocean of water that's under there that tastes really good.
So, Alonzo, can you tell me a little bit more information about the difference between the shallow aquifer and actually where our drinking water comes from here in Memphis?
Sure, Michelle. Like at the TVA site, they have wells that are in the shallow aquifer. And when I talk about the shallow aquifer, it's about the 30 to 50 foot level. That's not where we get our drinking water from. Our drinking water actually comes from the Memphis sands, and it's about 300 to 500 feet down. The system of aquifer service in Memphis is actually made up of 4 different sands and aquifers. So we get it from the Memphis aquifer, which is
coming deep, deep down, all that fresh.
Right, 2,500 to 200,000 year old water.
So what do people need to know about the EPA findings, though, about the custom cleaners on Highland and TVA's incidence of arsenic in the shallow aquifer? I know that's been some concern for some people.
Yeah, well, just to back up just a minute, you know, MLGW is required to do a lot of tests on its water, and we do about 40,000 tests a year on water. So it's like 4,000 a month, 3,000 to 4,000 a month. And we test the water for the various constituents, and we make sure that there are none of them there. At the custom cleaner site, there was incidents of chemicals getting into the shallow aquifer there, and the EPA is trying to clean that up. So we're working with them, providing them information so they can help with the cleanup. We've tested the water in that area. None of those chemicals are in our drinking water. Same with the TVA arsenic situation. They have a, what you call a sludge pond that they are closing. And part of the closing process is to monitor the wells around the sludge pond. These are shallow wells. They're about 35, 50 feet deep. And they check for various constituents, arsenic and lead. They found arsenic in a few of them, and they asked us, TDAC did, to test our wells, and we didn't find any arsenic in our wells either.
So it's been thoroughly investigated.
Thoroughly investigated, and we want to make sure that it's thoroughly investigated and that the cleanup really goes very well.
And if someone does have a little bit, more curiosity, where can they go to get more information?
They can look at our water quality report, but you can also contact EPA, you can contact TDAC, and get additional information as well.
And all that can be found at mlgw.com.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming and educating us about how wonderful Memphis water is.
Glad to do it.
Every year, the first week in October is recognized as Public Power Week. Across the U.S., 2011 public power utilities power 49 million homes in 49 states and 5 territories, which means that 1 in 7 electricity customers is served by a public power utility. And here's a wallet-friendly fact. Homes powered by public power utilities pay nearly 50% less than homes powered by private utilities. In addition, the American Public Power Association says community nonprofit utilities tend to be more focused on contributing locally. According to the APPA, public power gives 33% more back to the community than private utilities. Like public schools and libraries, public utilities are owned by the community and run as a division of local government, so there's a vested interest in seeing a community thrive and grow. Learn more about Public Power Week by visiting mlgw.com or publicpower.org. It's fall and cooler temperatures will soon be on the horizon. Be prepared and get a pilot light safety inspection now. MLGW is taking appointments. There is a $55 fee. The fee is waived, however, for physically challenged customers and those who are 60 and older. Call 820-7878 and follow the prompts to schedule an appointment. Don't go away. There's more Memphis Energized after the break. Stay tuned.
Staring in the mirror, gonna change my ways. I wanna make Memphis a better place. I see your neighbor in need, but what can be done? Instead of buying shoes or a pretty dress with just $1 a month, you can help the rest. It starts with you. Plus one.
You know, giving back through Plus One will make a difference for families in crisis.
It starts with you. Plus one. Grandma's message couldn't have been any clearer. If you wanna change Memphis, look in the mirror. It starts with you. Plus one.
I remember when we got help from Plus One.
And now we're helping others.
Hey, Memphis, you can make a change.
You too can make a difference.
Go to mlgw.com/+1 or call 544-6549.
It's gonna feel real good.
Oh, yes.
Share the Pennies needs your change to make a change. You can help ease the burden of a neighbor in need of home weatherization repairs. Your small change is all it takes to make a big difference. You may choose to opt out anytime, but for less than $12 a year, why would you?
I'm in.
I'm in.
We're in.
For more info, visit our website or call 544-6549. All you have to do is care.
George.
Yes, dear.
George. George.
What now, Gladys?
That man next door is digging again.
Not again.
I bet he didn't call 811 before he dug. George? What does gas smell like?
Know what's below. MLGW reminds you to call 811 before you dig, even for small projects.
Welcome back. In the spring, TVA awarded MLGW a grant to help some in our community who are energy burdened. The energy burdened are low-income customers who pay a large portion of their income on utility bills. Even though MLGW has the lowest utility rates in the country, because of poor insulation and lack of weatherization, these households waste a lot of energy and can have high utility bills. Thanks to the grant funds, MLGW was able to identify households in need of energy efficiency repairs. Memphis Energized correspondent Rhonda Langston is here to tell us more.
Once too hot to sit inside for long during the hot summers in Memphis, MLGW customer Trudy Rogers can now enjoy her home with air conditioning thanks to the weatherization repairs completed through a pilot program developed by TVA and the Tennessee Housing Development Agency. Rogers is thankful for the repairs, along with the impact it has had on her health and the lower cost on her utility bill.
Before the program, my utility bill was kind of high. During the summer, I have had a utility bill as high as $300 and something. But since the program has repaired my house and took my house under new construction, my utility bill, my first utility bill was only $126.98. And that's a big difference. And being on a fixed income, that helps out very much, a lot in a lot of spots.
Weatherization repairs were made inside and outside of the home after an initial inspection.
First repair that they made on my home was a new air condenser unit. Thank God. Then I have a heating system that heats all the way through. They put fans in my bathroom so they can be air sufficient, and they made repairs to my attic. And putting that installation up in the attic really serves a great purpose.
MLGW energy technician David Wright reviewed the repairs and pointed out the upgrades.
The last time we came out, she had an old 2.5-ton inefficient unit. So now she has a brand new unit put in. It's a Ring 2.5-ton. The unit is working pretty good. Should have a home pretty cool inside. So we'll go inside, check things out, see what it looks like, see how well the unit's operating. We've been outside, saw the new 2.5 ton condenser. We're inside now, where the evaporator coil got installed. She has a new 2.5 ton evaporator coil, and it's cooling the house pretty good. I must say it's cooling the house very good. I mean, it's almost like blowing snowballs in here. But before, the home was pretty uncomfortable. The unit wasn't working the way it should have been. The home wasn't getting cool. The unit was running longer, burning more energy, costing her more money. So now she has this new unit. It's doing a real good job. They have everything seem to be sealed up pretty good. There's no air leaks blowing out off the unit on the inside of the closet. Okay, we're in the hallway bathroom of the home, where previously the vent fans were not working in the bathroom. When someone gets in the shower, it wasn't pulling off those vapors from the hot water being created. Also, as well as wasn't pulling out the odors in the bathroom as well. Now that vent fan is working because it's new and it's doing the job of pulling out the vapors and odors in the bathroom. And the customer is very much pleased with what has been done. I'm standing here in the attic entrance into the attic. It's pretty hot in the attic right now. I take my temperature gun, point it in, and I'm looking at about 140 degrees on the ceiling of the attic. I point my temperature gun inside the ceiling, ceiling here in the home. I'm looking at about 83 degrees. That's a big temperature drop between the attic being outside actually, and the ceiling being on the inside. So you're looking at a big temperature drop. So it tells me that increasing the attic insulation from R19 previously to an R38 has really helped maintain the comfort level in this home when the unit is on doing what it's supposed to do. So that increase in the attic insulation was a big help. I'm sure the customer is very much pleased with that as well.
Roger says the experience of the repairs on her home has helped her to make smarter energy decisions and to keep costs low and to keep up the work. If successful, this pilot will be used as the process for future residential grants from the U.S. Department of Energy.
I practice keeping my filters changed. I practice keeping the thermostat set at a certain temperature. And sometimes I even set it a little lower than what it's supposed to be because the unit is automatic and it kicks on and kicks off. Where if you set it, adjust it, where it'll kick on and kick off and it'll cool and then go off, you'll save there on your bill. But seriously, I do thank God for each and every one that's on those programs. I thank God for the funding, and I thank God for giving me the wisdom and knowledge to find the program.
For Memphis Energized, I'm Rhonda Langston.
Thank you, Rhonda. Although the TVA grant provides much needed assistance, it is only able to help a small number of households, and the demand for weatherization repairs in our community is great. That's why a group of activists, the Memphis City Council, and MLGW are hoping the redesign of the Share the Pennies program will make a big impact, pooling small change to make a big difference for our county's most vulnerable citizens.
The Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, we've been working in the Southeast since around 1985 to really try to help communities make responsible energy choices, both to protect our climate and then also ensure that everyone's living fulfilled lives where they can afford their energy and we have less pollution going into the environment. We've formed a partnership with NAACP as well as the local Sierra Club branch here called Just Energy Memphis. And it really is looking at how do we lift communities away from these energy burdens. We have very low rates, so we looked at really its consumption. People are using a lot of energy most of the time in small homes, apartments, where you really should not be needing to use that much energy to keep you comfortable. And we realized that it is high consumption that's the problem, and those are a result of poor housing, lack of capital to be able to fix up your home. We found out that MLGW had this Share the Pennies program that wasn't really being used for a variety of reasons. And other places across the state, across where TVA serves, have changed their program so that automatically customers are in it. And if they want to get out of it, they can easily. And we found that normally the opt-out rate is not as high as you might think it is, because it is just sharing pennies each month, and most of us can afford that. Now, if you do not want to use your money in this way, MLGW has set it up so that you have a variety of ways to say no thank you. At this time, I would not like to round my bill up, and that's fine. Nobody wants to force anyone to do what they're not comfortable with. But I think a lot of people did not realize, oh, these pennies really will matter. It's maybe 50 cents, this month. What does that matter? Well, it does. If everybody in Memphis each month is 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents, it's all going to add up and help the people who really need the help, which will help our whole community.
You can find out more about the program at mlgw.com/sharethepennies. Community leaders from across the city recently gathered at MLGW's training center for an annual event. The Neighborhood Leaders Conference offered attendees a chance to learn more about programs at MLGW and also City of Memphis services. The Neighborhood Community Leaders Conference is another way MLGW hopes to empower our customers and grassroots organizers to make Memphis a better place to live, work, and play. In addition to inviting customers to our campuses for special events, MLGW experts will also come to you. Complete the online speaker request form available on mlgw.com, and we'll make every effort to have a speaker for your homeowner association, business, or community meeting. MLGW volunteers also speak to classes, encouraging students in pursuit of STEM careers and promoting conservation. For example, Jordan Rudolph, crisis management engineer, recently visited with students at Cornerstone Prep Academy, Denver, and Frazier. Rudolph gave a presentation on MLGW's electric grid and how power travels from generation plants to MLGW and eventually to the customer. He also talked about natural gas safety. Call 811 before you dig and what to do in emergencies. Do you like the idea of knowing how much your utility bill is going to be even before you receive it? Then sign up for MLGW's budget billing program. With budget billing, you'll know how much your bill will be and you pay the same amount each month. Signing up for budget billing is easy. When you enroll in the program, MLGW analyzes your previous year's total usage, adjusts for rate changes and weather conditions, and divides the total into 12 monthly installments. Sign up now. It's easy to apply. Call 544-6549 or visit one of MLGW's community offices or go online to mlgw.com to download an application. Are you looking for an even easier way of keeping up with your utility bill? Then look no further than your cell phone for MLGW text alerts. Customers can sign up to receive text message notifications of billing due dates and possible impending cutoffs. Customers can register for the program at mlgw.com/text alerts. To help keep emergency lines clear for those life-threatening situations, customers are reminded to use 528-4465 only for emergencies. MLGW deemed emergencies are considered things such as gas leaks, downed electric wires, broken water mains inside a building, or unsafe street barricades. If you need to stop, start, or transfer service, call the Customer Care Center at 820-7878, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Any other account inquiries can be addressed by calling 544-MLGW. And if typing rather than talking is more convenient for you, then you can get your questions answered with just the click of a mouse. MLGW's web chat feature for residential customers can be found at mlgw.com. Web chat is available for all residential customers from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Web chat provides a full range of service options, including the option to make payment arrangements. And as always, customers can send any of their utility-related questions and feedback to MLGW Customer Care at mlgw.org. MLGW has now added credit card machines to all of its community offices to expand payment options for customers. Customers can make those payments with Visa, MasterCard, or Discover Card. Credit card payments made at a community office are posted immediately. For your safety and to protect our employees, please remember to use caution when driving in a utility work zone. These zones located throughout the city don't have to be dangerous if you use caution. Many times you will see crews working near streets and highways when installing gas mains or working on overhead or underground power lines. Utility work zones are clearly marked with signs or work zone flaggers, so pay attention. And remember, speed limits may be reduced in work zones. Thanks for helping to keep our employees safe so we can do the best work for you. We've covered a lot in this edition of Memphis Energized. I hope you've learned a lot and will join us next time. Until then, remember to join us online at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and at mlgw.com. Until next time, I'm Michelle McKissick. Thanks for watching.